Transitioning from travel channel to something else in 2020 hasn't been easy, and for sure my content this year hasn't been consistent at all. So here's a little video, little guide for my new and old subscribers to understand more clearly what's been going on What a Shame Mary Jane in 2020. I'm also gonna reveal which one of all the videos that I made this year is my absolute favorite. Stick till the end to know which one it is. Hello everyone from the 31st of December 2020, last day of the year. And I promise you that this year I've made the most amount of quality content I've ever made on this channel. It's just probably a little bit confusing because it was not regarding only one topic and it was not only one type of format of video. So to make the first big recap, the winter moment of What a Shame Mary Jane 2020 has been my Venice series. So I started, and I repeat, only started releasing a few vlogs for who wants to travel to Venice to understand the city and the local culture better. Then the pandemic hit, so spring 2020 is the moment of COVID-related videos. In the summer, things started to open a little bit again, so I started to go out and do outdoor activities. So What a Shame Mary Jane has been mainly cycling in New York City videos in the summer. And then in the fall, I took a trip to New England by car, so that's the type of content that I've been publishing mainly in the fall 2020. This was a very generic recap, but let's go into a little bit more detail now. I've divided almost all the videos I've made this year into big categories just to, make them a little bit more clear to understand for you. And the first category is travel and places, the most probably successful one on my channel, the most simple one for me to make. The places I've been showing are, starting from the end, New England. This is the latest travel series I've published. I actually still have to finish it because there is still one vlog that is coming out to complete the series of 8 videos. The other travel and places related series is cycling in New York City, which I did mainly in the summer, as I mentioned already. I started with 3 smaller trips around my borough, which is Manhattan, and then I made other 4 videos, each one for the other boroughs of New York City. So Brooklyn, the Bronx, Staten Island, and Queens, with the help of Action Kid. Another travel series of vlogs that I released this year has been my latest pre-pandemic road trip, which was Paris, France to Udine, Italy by Flixbus. These are 6 episodes that I released at the beginning of this year, and it's a whole European kind of vibe. As I mentioned, I then started to release a series of videos to guide the tourist in Venice, Italy. I've never lived in Venice, but I'm almost a local there because I come from the area. And so I decided to show more in depth the local culture and discourage mass tourism. Unfortunately, I released 5 and then I stopped because COVID. The last place that I showed this year is Friuli, my home region in the northeast of Italy. I actually started the year by publishing a vlog about what I do on the first day of the year, usually, not 2021 obviously, but usually what I do in my hometown and in my region, Friuli. It's also a video that performed really well on the platform for some reason. If you want to discover what I usually do on the first day of the year, I'll leave you the link to that vlog here in the cards. On the 6th of January, we have another very big tradition in Friuli, and I made a little video about it. The group that organizes this event in my hometown was very happy about that video, so they asked me to make more this year, but unfortunately, hopefully next year I will make it. But it's a very old pagan tradition. We make a big bonfire. Check out the video if you want to know more. I also republished the vlog of a Sunday where I did several activities, outdoor activities, a hike, a dinner. Several of my subscribers have claimed that this is their favorite video on my channel, so I encourage you to go check it out. Unfortunately, that day my newer phone was getting repaired, so I ended up shooting the entire video with my old phone, so the quality is terrible, but I guess story over technology always wins in these YouTube videos. And let me know what you think. It's definitely a vlog that is very, very dear to my heart, because this is exactly what I would do in my home region in a regular day off that I have. In general, if you're interested to see more about my home region in Italy, I made a playlist where I collected all the vlogs that were scattered around my channel that I shot there. And for the category travel and places, the latest video that I made this year is a cultural comparison between United States and Italy. This is a type of video that I promised myself to make more on this channel, and I haven't been very successful because I made only one this year. So it's one of my goals for the new year, make more comparison videos between the culture of the United States and the culture of Italy. If you want to see more of that, please comment below and give me some encouragement, because I am very much worried about offending someone in these videos. And now, next category, one of the main keywords through which people find my channel, couch surfing. So everything was going fine at the beginning of the year. I just had a couple of couch surfing experiences. I even made a video where I interviewed one of my hosts, and then again COVID happened. So in May, the platform decided to introduce a fee. If you don't know the platform deeply and its history, it's not easy to understand why introducing a small fee is such a big problem, but I explained everything in this video here that I took forever to prepare. I made so much research to make this video and then to put it together. And it's one of those videos that is worth 5 videos of my channel, really, because it's so long, it's so complex, and it took so much work and research. So COVID happened. So in the spring, I couldn't travel anymore, so I started making videos COVID related. I thought, okay, I'm quarantining in my apartment. What kind of content can I make from my apartment that can be useful to who is watching? So how to not panic and stay mentally healthy during COVID, 10 actually useful things to do while at home, top 6 YouTube channels to watch during the quarantine, and a multi-collaboration with other 4 YouTubers from New York City to just offer you some entertainment. Then I realized that in the United States, people were not taking seriously how the situation was evolving, and they had no idea what Italy had already experienced. So I decided to make a video where viewers would have had the chance to get the Italian news firsthand from someone who is Italian and who was having his family in Italy. So I made a video in collaboration with my family members who described how the Italian lockdown was. And then I made 2 videos about the place where I was living, which is New York City, during the full lockdown and right after that. The last video that I made regarding COVID times is the most important one for me, and it's been the one that has had the least success. That's why I care so much about bringing it up. And it's this one. This video is only 2 minutes 21 seconds long, and that's the main reason why it hasn't been successful, because YouTube cannot put so many ads in a short video like this, so they don't promote these videos. In these 2 minutes of video, I describe my entire perspective, personal perspective on this COVID situation. And this video wanted to be an encouragement to be a little bit more optimistic and more positive about what was happening in the world. The other category related to COVID times were the cooking videos. I must say they were very much appreciated, but the cooking videos were definitely an experiment related to COVID. We were all quarantining at home, and I decided, you know what? I have a kitchen now, so I can finally cook after living like a nomad for 2 years. Let me show some Italian recipes. If you want to check them out, they are also in this playlist here. And now I have to mention the category of live streams. I decided to start live streaming because we were stuck at home, so I thought Again, how can I be helpful to the people? Let's live stream from home and let's bring some good vibes to the people quarantining at home. I counted them. I've made 13 so far. And now we arrive to the least successful but most appreciated by me type of videos. So one category is the one of analysis of current events. I started this at the very beginning of COVID by making a video about the problem of the infodemic. So I talked about how problematic it is, the use of social media, and how they are spreading misinformation during very uncertain moments for humanity, like the one that we were living and that we are still living right now. So that video is sadly still very much actual. After that, in the spring, my sister sent me an article about the environmental effects of COVID, which was really well made, and it struck me so much that I decided to make a video about it. Except that that video became 3 videos. So I made a trilogy of videos about environment and COVID, which are some of the videos that I'm most proud of having made in my entire channel. They're certainly not as entertaining as the travel vlogs, but sometimes we need to reflect on things. Finally, I started making the type of videos that I opened this channel for. Literally, I started this channel with the long-term goal that I would one day have an audience so that I could tell stories of great people doing great things in the world. And this year I started that, first of all, with a project for feeding the hungry here in New York City. It's called Evie Loves New York City. Then a similar kind of purpose had a restaurant who is cooking for the hungry. I made a video especially at Thanksgiving Day where I helped together with other volunteers to cook for this project. And lastly, one of the biggest works of this year, my very first full documentary, I guess, Sacred Nectar Sanctuary. It's a place where I stayed while I was traveling in New England. In my opinion, it's an absolutely amazing example for our society. I hope many more places like this will grow and develop in the future. And lastly, the most important thing that happened to this channel in 2020 is the Patreon page. Patreon is a platform that allows me to get financial support for what I'm doing here on YouTube. And I started this page in January last year. Everything actually started with the special video that I made for 10K subscribers. Exactly 365 days ago, because it was the 31st of December 2019. Yeah, now that I think about it, it was exactly 1 year ago. I decided to make this very long video where I was just, talking from my heart to the camera, which is something, it was not a format of video that I usually made on my channel. Not because I didn't want to, but because I thought that nobody would like to listen to me for 30 minutes. Well, turns out I was wrong, because that video has been so important for my channel. So many people got to know me actually with that video. And that's where I, first of all, made public my intention of opening a Patreon page. So after a couple of weeks, I set it up, I launched it, and pooh! In the very first days, so many people made a pledge, and within really a few months, I was able to make a living out of my job on YouTube, which was definitely not the case before that. Before that, I still was working on my YouTube channel as a full-time job because it takes a lot of time and effort. But on the side, I always had to constantly find jobs that would pay for my living. My patrons allow me to focus 100% on this channel and on the content that I produce here, and I will never be grateful enough for them to start pledging and keep pledging for this entire year. And in one of my latest live streams, I was trying to read the names of them. I haven't been able to for technical problems, so I'm gonna do it now. Stick with me, because after this I'm gonna reveal which was my absolute favorite video of 2020 that I haven't mentioned yet in all these categories. Apparently I launched Patreon on the 19th of January because I have a lot of people that pledged that day. And the very first one, do you know who he is? On this channel you can find him with the username Johnny Crash. But let me read the names of who pledged the very first week after I launched. I'm gonna read just the first name. I don't know if they want to be kept anonymous or what. So, Johnny Crash, Guido, Robert, John, Ken, Dean, Petr, Milan, Tom, Steven, John W, and John M, Elise, Richard, Charles, Boat, Phil, Auke, Tom, Suzanne, Laura, Alionur, K-Man, David, Teresa, Teresa, I don't know the pronunciation, Michael, Peter L, Peter G. And then the spring came and so many other people joined. Dario, Antonio, John, Marilisa, Alan, Alice, Michael, Judith, Violetta, Matthew, Bill, Martin, Gert Ove, Stephanie, Paolo, Eddie, Scott, Boris, and Paolo. And then the summer patrons: Jim, Kang, QWERTY, Cooper Trick, Kenneth, Rachel, Steven, Jason, Brian, Paul, Simon, Mo, Robert, Ariel, James, Mark, Daniel, Chris, Mel. In the autumn, James, Karl-Heinz, Christine, Will, David, Johannes, Chris, Oyvind, Joseph. And the latest Patreon who joined just 2 days ago is Danielle. To all of you, thank you, thank you, thank you. These are the people who allow me to keep going with this YouTube channel, that give me hope, that give me financial support and psychological support and motivation. So thank you. And now let's talk about our favorite video this year. I want first to know from you, which What a Shame Mary Jane video did you prefer this year? Is there one video in particular that you like the most, or one series? Let me know in the comments. I'm super curious to read your answers. For me, 2020 has also been the year where I turned 30. So I said goodbye to my 20s forever. And before doing that, on the 19th of April, the day before my birthday, I shot a video about the message that I wanted to give to people in their 20s, the message that I would have liked to receive when I was in my 20s. And this has been not a particularly successful video in the very first day when I released it, but then I got such beautifully written emails from people in their 20s who have watched the video. They didn't even know who I was or what my channel was, but they felt so encouraged by this video that they decided to write me emails. And that is really the biggest reward that I have for my work on my YouTube channel, knowing that I have a positive impact on real people's lives. I shared my video ideas and plans for 2021 with my patrons, so if you want to join my Patreon page, you will find the video about What a Shame Mary Jane in 2021. I wish you a happy new year to everyone, and I'll see you next year. Bye!